Seeing is believing, and you're not going to believe how bright and vivid the colors are on the Samsung Neo QLED and OLED TVs powered by the Neural Quantum Processor, because this is an audio ad. Unless you can see it, which means you already have one. Nice. Samsung, more wow than ever. For the best TV viewing experience, witness the coziest maroons, the most vibrant and brightest moons, the eeriest and darkest tombs, and radiant and vivid hues in any type of room with the Neo QLED and OLED TVs by Samsung. We're supposed to say Samsung, but that didn't rhyme, so you're welcome. Samsung, more wow than ever.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's get started.
I have thought a lot in the last 24 hours.
Time to get your weekly sports fix.
By the skin of their teeth, they lost.
Then you can just ride it the whole thing.
With Stix.
Right off the bat with I guess that was
even got the right start time this time. What's happening, fellas? Another day, another dollar.
Yeah, is it steamy as hell over there or what?
Yeah, it's still a little warm out here in the east.
It's about mid 90s today.
Yeah, I ducked the return pickup trip yesterday. But,
the Wenatchee or Lake Chelan trip.
Yeah, I had to make the first one, and it was a little warm, man. It was definitely a little warm out there, and I was catch the vibe. But that ride is always nice. I'm pretty sure y'all ride's a little bit different going that way, but that's a little cool ride going through 90 and coming through Snoqualmie and then coming out, and you got the little lake or whatever that with a bunch of tree stumps and all shit. I know y'all done seen this shit.
That's the announce big homie for you. What's going on with you, Pasco's finest high school basketball coach? Getting ready for that school start, Barcot?
Yeah, next week if I make it, so we'll see.
I know I am. I'm ready for school to be started.
We'll see. Well, I mean, I'm gonna keep this one quiet. She's like put out the business with the wife tested positive Saturday. So, I mean, when Jason hit me up today about the thing, I was like, yeah, shit, I'm in quarantine, so I'm missing all my meetings this week. So I'm good. I ain't got nothing else to do.
Hey.
No online meetings, just
no. Everything's everything, and that's the downside of districts. Well, I shouldn't say all districts. Ours doesn't understand that these things happen. And because you demand, we're in I'll just put it out there, we're in a political area that I don't agree with. They're really conservative here. So they're always, if teachers aren't in the classroom, I mean, they really push to try to get us back in the classroom when the numbers are still spiking. Back when all schools are still closed.
I was trying to get y'all back in there.
Yeah, you just want kids out the house. So they don't make accommodations for things like this. So like this is not a required thing to do for the trainings. It is overtime pay, but because it's so gung ho that you have to be there, they don't make accommodations for this situation where people's spouses or kids at home might get sick and they have to quarantine. And now you're just, SOL when it comes to overtime pay.
That's crazy because nowadays you would think that after we've gone through this, all of these possibilities should be baked in by now, right? All of them should be baked in, and it should be like no questions asked. I feel you. Do what you got to do. We'll do what we have to do over here.
100%. And then it's for whatever reason the feeling is over here that if you're not in the classroom, then you're just you're out joyriding or something. Having a vacation or something.
They treating y'all like y'all students.
That's definitely not the case.
Absolutely.
With you, Barcot.
Yeah,
you're closed up. You're locked down, baby.
Yeah, we have to send you to the counselor's office.
That's right, baby.
I'll tell you what's not a fun drive. Driving all the way to Napa, Idaho, on a Thursday in the morning and driving back that day. That trek is a trek through the. What is that? Eastern Oregon of absolutely nothing.
Okay, so I haven't looked at a map, but when you said I was going to Idaho from Washington, I'm going, how the hell you end up in Oregon? Okay, so I'm not Lewis and Clark or nothing like that, but I'm like, wait. I've seen a map before. and I know how the states lay out. I watch the History Channel, how the states got their shapes, right? So I'm familiar with the way everything looks, and I'm thinking you should be going this way. How you go down first before you get that way?
Well, it's because that part of Oregon, that part of Idaho does border with Oregon. It goes past Washington.
Yeah,
So
it goes straight into.
If you want to go to Boise, you have to go through Oregon and through Ontario, Oregon, across the border in Idaho, and that just takes you straight in.
Yeah, but if you go to like Coeur d'Alene, then you can go up through
Spokane. Go north,
right, and then go through. But going through, going to Napa, where we went, was literally just a straight. Well, I'd say a straight shot, but it's just a bunch of windy freaking roads that are just on the.
It's a big pass. It's a big mountain pass
highway.
You go through. It's a big mountain pass to go through.
There's a couple of them. It's flat for a second, and then it's curvy. Then it's a couple hills and hills and hills and hills. Mm-hmm. And then you get right into Oregon, and Napa's like 25 minutes from Oregon. But yeah, my brother got a new ride, so we went over there, drove over that morning, drove back that day because we had the golf tournament on Friday.
Got to do it.
So we went and got it done, and he got his new ride, and we played like shit on Friday golf, and I wasn't the best golfer ever like I was at the Hindu tournament. So
okay,
all
it is under par. It didn't materialize out there for this
and then I think we only finished like 3 or 4 under as our team did, so it wasn't too good, but it was nice to be out there. We actually got lucky because it wasn't 105 like it was supposed to be. I mean, we had a little bit of cloud cover, so it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be, but it was fun. Got out there, raise some money.
I'd like to point out that Jason's now officially been here for 8 weeks and still hasn't hung a fucking thing on his wall. He's got his marriage poster like leaned up on the couch.
This is the spare bedroom. The spare bedroom / office / TV room. I can't be hanging stuff on my brother's wall without permission. I ain't trying to go there yet.
I forgot the internet only reaches certain parts of the house.
Yeah.
Right. And he hasn't seen them this whole 8 weeks enough to ask him about particular decor concepts and things like this neither. Right. So I get it. Y'all be impassive.
One step at a time. One step at a time. But yeah, we didn't have a 9-hour car ride together.
Yeah. Nothing to talk about. There was no real discussions that needed to be had or none things that need to be addressed, and I'm sure.
Yeah, nothing at all. We're talking about our golf.
It's a deer over there.
Cows, fencing, horses,
sure,
wild horses. Yeah, it was all that stuff. But
Wild Horse Casino.
Yeah, we did drive by there. I've never been there. I thought I'd been there once. I guess I'd never been there, but.
Not a bad little casino, man.
What city is it in?
Pendleton.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's only like an hour 15, hour 30.
That's about an hour. It's about 70 miles.
Yeah.
It's about 70 miles.
Not too bad.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the local neighborhood knows about Pendleton, even though they don't know about Pendleton because of the damn jackets. You know what I mean? So hey, everybody knows a little something about that. Just go to Pendleton and make a left. You know what I'm saying? But man, it's a lot of stupidness going on. But I don't know if you guys. At first, I was sitting up here, online, building my concepts and all of this, and I'm going, there's nothing to talk about, man. But I did have to say, man, I'm glad we still just went ahead and just held this, because at least I can get out that the Lakers did something right. Since we talked last, a couple things right. I don't know. They got one thing right, but they did a couple things. So they're gonna go ahead and put Pau Gasol up in the lights, and I'm not even mad at that, because for me to have that second resurgence of Kobe Bryant. Okay, now when I say, he was coming at first, but he had 2 resurgences. Okay, the one, I'm saying, when after he airballed them jumpers in Utah as a young buck, as the Michael Jordan clone with the bald head. Okay, that's when he was coming. Okay, then he came out with the Kobe Fro, 3 in a row, easy. Shaq bounces. What we gonna do? We're gonna score 81 points. That's what we gonna do. But it was only out there in them Smush Parker and Kwame Brown years, man. It was bad until they tried to get us. We tried to get the Chris Paul thing popping, and it just did not work, man. It just, the David Stern was not having it because of what was going on with Charlotte Hornets versus New Orleans Hornets, and I think there's a little bit of Katrina situation going on in there at the same time.
That was a big conspiracy though, because he turned around and traded the Clippers. I mean, I that's the downside of not having ownership in hand when it's time to make, because people don't remember.
Yeah,
the NBA was running the Hornets at that point in time.
Inside scoop.
And they had a trade made, done, signed, sealed, delivered to get Chris Paul to the Lakers.
And then announced.
And then the NBA commissioner, who was also acting as the owner of the Hornets,
yes, sir,
changed his mind. And then what was 2 weeks later, shipped him to the Clippers.
Man.
If I remember correctly, the deal with the Clippers was not as good as the one that they had with the Lakers.
No, it wasn't. But Jerry West went right back into his bag and started making calls immediately. And there was a young Spaniard just hanging out in obscurity to the world in Memphis, getting buckets, an all-star already, doing his thing, and come to find out, and a little trade, the Lakers so happened to, with their first rounder, picked up the little brother Marc Gasol in the first round, traded him, swapped that, and then what do you know, magic happens, and we run it back again after getting smashed by the Celtics the first time. I never will say that we didn't get smashed by the Celtics the first time, but after that, Kobe got his stuff together, man. Andrew Bynum, man. Fish came back. Oh, it was real nice. It was a good 7 years. So they're doing that, and that's going to be great because I think Paul Gasol deserves that because I don't think he's going to get it in Memphis because what he did when he got to the Lakers and became that, and plus being European bilingual with the Spanish situation in LA, you got to do it. If you're the Lakers, it's the smartest thing you ever did. Keep Paul Gasol in the fold, man. Put his jersey up there underneath the spotlights like it should be. And that's a good shout for them, man. The other thing that they did by paying LeBron a whole bunch of money, I'm not sure about. 2 years extension for almost 100, y'all. Come on, man.
And what 3rd-year player option too.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody is saying now, this is like how everything is like, what is Bronny James going to do now? This is all the chatter.
Yeah, I will say this though.
So they got him through the 26-27 season now, or
2 more, 1 year after this one.
Yeah, so 3. So 22, 23, 23, 20. So 24, 25.
Okay, and then the 3rd year is the 25
player
option.
The option, yeah.
I will say this though. 2 years and 90s. I'm not mad at that because when you think about it, he's making less money than KP.
Jordan should have got that kind of bread back in the day, you would think.
Yeah, but they didn't have that. They didn't have those kinds of contracts. They didn't have the contracts where they
the TV contracts wasn't
right.
Crazy
they didn't
like
have the max contracts and whatnot. I mean, you actually had to negotiate back then. But when you look at it, Dame Lillard, he just signed a 2-year, $120 million contract. So he did 6. You're getting LeBron for after this year.
He ain't about to be 40 though. AB, he's about to be 40 though.
I know, but he still look what he just did. I mean, what was he like 38 and 8 or something like that?
Is he gonna play power forward? Is he gonna try to still be LeBron?
Well, if Jeannie had made the deal 2 months ago that the Nets were willing to make, he could have played the 2. But now she wants to make the deal the Nets 1 or 2 months ago, and the Nets no longer want it. So my point being, they could have had Kyrie 2 months ago. Because now they're starting to acquiesce to the Nets' demands from 2 months ago. But the Nets are like, no, we've moved on to something different. So I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, it's the going rate. That's the contract that he's allowed to get based off the thing. You don't negotiate it. There's levels. And so at the end of the day, you knew he was going to get it. I mean, that contract had been out there for months. It was whether or not he was going to sign it or was he going to dip after this year.
Yeah.
So as a Laker guy, I would rather have him stay. Imagine where we'd be in 2 years after next year if he's gone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's Anthony Davis and 11 schmucks.
Well, I mean, and peep this out. Just even chatter of LeBron stepping into the 206 got people sleeping out at Seattle Pacific.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean? The J crossover event.
And yeah, so Jamal does his annual situation out there at his pro-am that he does. Good for him. I love that even though the Seattle Hoopers hasn't infiltrated the NBA like it once did, he still is a major fixture out here with bringing these guys and keeping these guys all together. And he's always been like that ever since he was in the mall and all that back in the day, man.
I will say this though. I mean, that draft class has a chance. I mean, you had 2 of the top 15 picks out of Washington State. So, you know, the number 1 pick overall, and then the kid out of Yakima went to the Bucks.
Paolo.
So, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. But at the end of the day, I just think I wish it had run better, only because, you know, they had somebody pulled the fire alarm.
Yeah.
Something was going on, so they shut the doors.
Nobody knows how to act anymore. We had COVID for 2 years. We don't know how to act. We need to. I was saying while we was out of town, you know what I'm saying, which we didn't really speak about, but I was out of town and I was telling the kids and my wife now, I'm saying everybody needs to go through a social etiquette course all over again, because people, just the simple stuff about how to open a door when you go on in a crowd, who you hold the door for, handling elevators, things like this. People don't forgot all their little niceties. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you had like freaking 5,000 people out there waiting to get into a gym for about 1,500 or whatever it was.
Somebody gonna be an idiot.
Yeah, and there's always some fools acting a fool out there.
It's Seattle. You don't get, you don't get cats like that unless Jamal brings them up here, because there is no NBA team. So why would you take it to the extent of ruin a situation for everybody?
Because they don't know how to act. Just like you said. They don't know how to act.
They don't know how to act.
I will say this too, homie. They showed somebody was doing a video of the lines in Seattle this weekend, and just how long they were doing. They had to speed up the motion just to get in 60 seconds to show how long the line was. And they were acting surprised. And you know, our boy Detlef Shrimp chimed in on their post and said, "Man, that's how it always was in the 90s. You need to get the team back here and figure that out." Because that's how it was.
Yeah.
I mean, the Sonics, there's been a whole generation of people who are now young adults in the mid-20s that don't remember that Seattle arena,
a Sonic team or a period.
That thing shook the ground. I mean, it wasn't just the Seahawks and the 12s, which they do now, which, by the way, that's a whole nother thing that's coming up on talk shows. How quiet is that?
We're going to find out. Real
soon. That Seattle arena, man, when the Sonics were going, man, that thing, I mean, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts how loud that place got when they were going good. So, I mean, that was what Detlef Shrimp's point was. It was like, why are you shocked that people are lined up for NBA talent?
I don't think they know. I don't think they definitely don't know about that. But one other little thing that they do not know about Seattle society and urban and suburban life is Seattle, all the way from Everett and Auburn and all the way up to Tacoma. It is the camp out capital of the United States. Let something come out, a damn PlayStation, Xbox, some tickets, anything, somebody showing up. Oh, people up here will camp out. We have no problem from the 425 to the 360 to the 253, 206. People do not mind camping out up here. And it's you have to remember what the elements are on the west side over here, right?
Oh, yeah, but they will
come with tents, the portable chairs. They don't play no games. Slim,
that's a Washington.
Camping.
That's
like you don't know.
Oh, I know.
That's a Washington State thing, man. Because you just look at the gorge. The gorge was just packed again this weekend for some like weird rave shit.
Yeah.
People out there, campers, tents, and then wearing their weird rave. And, you know, it's weird to see people get out the RVs and the tents, and then they're basically, you know, how they were at the raves, where they're dressed up in their thongs and got all the
whatever that
neon paint on and whatever. And it's like you were just in a tent 5 minutes.
And a bunch of glow sticks and all that.
Yeah, I'm not expecting that to step out of a tent. But I mean, I agree with Homer. People camp out, but I mean, this is a different state. Like people don't camp out in Southern California for shit.
No,
but in Washington State, they'll pull up the RV and the tents at the gorge 3 days before the concert, and it's just a party. Yeah. Yep. And it's the same thing. I get what you're talking about. It's the same thing. When the new kicks, whatever it was, the new Jordans, the whatever would be coming out the store. I know you guys have people lined up.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All the time. Hey, well, if you guys are still listening to us, welcome to the Sports Fix with Stix and Honest Big Homie. We out here just throwing out some, fun facts for y'all. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review on whatever favorite podcast platform that you listen to. And, while you're at it, go check out the YouTube channel. If you haven't noticed, we are the audio version of Sydney Dean and Billy Hoyle, baby.
Go
to thisisfunner.com for more podcasts and online content. Grab some merch while you're there from the Funner family. Follow us on Twitter follow me, Stix015. Okay. Follow this guy, now it's Big Homie at homie_anonymous.
Don't get it mixed
up. Hashtag Stix and Sports, baby. We'll be on there. Check it out.
As the chief buffet officer here at Pizza Ranch, I get all kinds of questions from guests. Here's one from Emma.
So, what's your favorite number?
That's easy, Emma. My favorite number is 14,839,552. With Buffet Your Way, you can order any pizza you want, and we'll bake it and make sure you get the first slice. And with all our crusts, sauces, and toppings, we can make you 14,839,552 different pizzas. Just not, all at the same time.
Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
Well, sure. Well, let's get it popping, man. On this week's episode, we're going to get into a couple of different things. We're going to talk about week 2 NFL preseason, all the stories going on, catching you up with a little bit of everything from training camp and a little bit of sneak peek. Let's catch some opinions on the drama going down with Hard Knocks. Okay. If y'all are up on that,
you got to watch.
Come on. I'm fired up right now, just mentioning the two words next to each other, Hard Knocks. Okay. And then we're going to close it out again with MLB, since there's not too much going on with them, but the races are still boiling down. So we're going to catch everybody up. But first, let's get it started with another episode of America's favorite game show, Who's the Motherfucker?
And the jump off topic, what everybody's been talking about. Who hasn't heard all this? Dana White lets the cat out of the bag at UFC 278 when he's on there with the Gronks, which was a fiasco of itself. However, Dana White said himself, which opened up the whole "Who's the Motherfucker" talks again. If you guys haven't seen anything today on Monday,
this is the season finale of Who's the Motherfucker, man. This is it right here. Just close the door.
Dana White said he personally had a done deal with Brady and Gronk going to Las Vegas until Gruden screwed it up and put the kibosh on it.
Come on. Nobody had that. Who had that on their card? Who had that?
I can't remember. I tried to look for the
I know what you had. You had Jimmy Garoppolo hands down because you were trying to convince me that it was Jimmy Garoppolo, and I was not falling for.
But then you found the little tidbit from the homie investigation team about Tannehill.
That's right.
I still feel it could be Tannehill. At the same time,
just take everybody back real quick. I was on Tannehill for the reasons of he has a boy in the game, which is Mike Vrabel, head coach, Tennessee Titans, that used to be his teammate. Now, remember the words that were used of this popular America's Game show that Tom Brady so choice used when he was on LeBron's HBO TV show, The Shop. He said, "Oh, you gonna stick with that?" Oh, okay. So what I went with was he felt comfortable talking like that with somebody. And who else would you feel comfortable talking like that to? Would be a former teammate. So if you're going to stick with Ryan Tannehill, I'm going to give it to you one more time. And sure enough, he did. Now, little did we know, okay, because the obvious fingers was pointing to Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Everybody thought because they were teammates.
They were teammates. He didn't want Jimmy. There's always the thing that he was behind the scenes getting Jimmy traded.
Right. He didn't want it.
He's from the Bay Area.
Right.
I remember when he was a free agent, there was all that talk that San Francisco should go get him, and then there was mutual interest. But after this bombshell this weekend, it is clear that Derek Carr is that motherfucker he was talking about because John Gruden blew it up. I will tell you this, and a lot of people were talking about that. John Gruden's not that coach. He's not that guy that can give up power. He's kind of like the guy in Arizona. He's got to call the plays. He's got to run the offense. He's got to get his kind of quarterback. We're going to do my kind of stuff. And when you bring in a Tom Brady, you are ceding power, as you should. You are ceding power to play call. And Tom Brady's going to surround himself with his guys. Gronk is going to come.
Right.
You know,
AB was already there.
And that's why they said John blew that thing up. And I think it ended up being the best for Tom and Gronk, because I don't think the Raiders would have won that Super Bowl that year. I think going to Tampa Bay was their best spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you got to remember, that defense was not good. That defense for the Raiders was not good.
Still.
And then, I mean, remember, he can't, and that's now we know. They were saying that this morning. Now that explains why he went and threw those 5 touchdowns in Las Vegas. And if you remember, he was heated that night on the sidelines. Tom Brady. We had the out of control Tom Brady on the sideline that night, where he was getting people's asses.
That's right.
So now that all makes sense, because it was kind of like, of all the games for Tom Brady to get in teammates' asses on the sideline, what's he pissed off about the Raider game? Now we find out he was like, I'm going to show you. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And he did.
And he even threw that one. I don't remember. Was it Scotty Miller? He hit it the last play right before halftime. And he was throwing the ball in the end zone at halftime, like right before the halftime that scored a touchdown.
Interesting.
I mean, he was out there lighting them up.
No, we thought that story was good last year or 2 years ago when that happened. We thought that story was good. We thought that was the Breaking Bad. This is the Better Call Saul right here, because now that you got all the details that are tying everything together with all of this, because Gronk is like, oh yeah, I was down. This was happening. Okay, we was putting this on. And now that you look at the way that it all turned out for everybody, right? Because you had the Chris Godwin, Henry Ruggs, Mr. Top Golf himself on the squad already. Mm-hmm. Gronk says he's coming. You already got Waller. Mm-hmm. Okay, you got Third and Renfro already there. You might have had to give up a couple of these assets or something like this. I don't know, because of money contractually. But look at how everything eventually turned out. You got Gruden out, AB come and go. Ended up with Tom Brady anyway. Of course, the tragedy of the Henry Ruggs situation. All of this came from this tree of Tom Brady coming. This is better than the damn Bill Walsh coaching tree right here.
It's a whole lot of nothing with the Brady. We're never going to find out till the book comes out in 10 years, unless that's what he was working on when he went to the Bahamas or wherever he went the last 11 days.
What was he doing out there?
Maybe he went out there to work on the book signing and the book deal and everything else.
Was he ditching? Was he pulling one of those what's the damn buzzword? The NBA buzzword. Load management. So I don't know how the hell I forget that. Okay.
We always do.
Right.
I will say this though. Go ahead, homie.
No, I was just saying, what was he really doing? Was it a load management situation? Was it a personal thing that he will not talk about? Was it one of those? I'm just gonna pull my OG card and go.
I think what it was one of those things where, I'm not saying the family had it planned, but remember his excuse for retiring, which we now know was not really happening because he had the whole Miami Dolphins thing in the background.
Right.
I do believe, by the way, that this is it for Tom. I don't think there's a 2023 for Tom.
Dude, I think get into this. This better be it, because it ain't gonna look good.
Well, no, because it's not, because the way he's handling the preseason, and that's why I believe that he's hanging. Because remember, he's got a son from before Giselle, and he's even mentioned throughout the year that son has been. Yeah. He's in New York City, and he's been wanting more and more time, which I totally understand. Tom understands, and I think the kids are getting older. I think a couple of them are in high school. I think the 2 boys are in high school now.
Yeah,
and, they got football stuff going on, and they want dad around. I think dad, it's one of those things where he knows the offense. They're going to do one of those things where they don't play a whole lot of starters, like the Rams don't play their starters. So it's like, what reps do I really need now? Would I prefer him in camp? Absolutely. But I think this is a sign where, hey, I'm just here to play this year. I really think it's going to be disappointing, because I don't think Tampa Bay is going to do very well, because Tom is not clearly as focused as he is. in previous years.
When have you ever heard of somebody taking 11 days off in the middle of training camp? Never.
Yeah, that's why I agree.
Unless you're holding out. You're holding out. Or there's some quarrel.
There could be. I also just think Tom doesn't give a shit. I think kind of he's pulling your OG card you brought up. He just doesn't give a shit. You don't like it? I can retire again right now.
Right now.
Right now. I'll walk out right now. You're going to have to start giving a pick. And everybody and their mom is going to know you're in dire straits for a QB. It's not like you're the Giants who are literally saying Tyrod Taylor's going to start taking first team reps and we'll figure out a quarterback later because they know they're not going anywhere. Tampa Bay, they're a top 5 team allegedly in the NFL with Tom Brady. I agree with you with Tom Brady. So they're looking at like, this is my last year. I got family things I want to go do. If you don't like it, I'll walk away and you can go try to get, the 49ers will probably rake you over the coals for Jimmy. But what are you going to do with QB if I walk away? So basically they're stuck. They've made a coaching decision to keep him. They sold themselves to the devil for this year. And he's kind of, I agree, pulling the OG card and saying, I'm going to do what I want to do. That was the downside of firing the head coach for him. It's because now you've shown him how much power he has. And I get he's Tom Brady. He's deserved that power. But now he's milking that power because he knows this is it for me.
Yeah. Well, let's get in. You want to get into some training camp stuff? Since you got anything to finish up with Brady, homie?
Man, look, let's go, man. Look, there's juice. Okay, there's wheel routes to cover. We got to move the chains, challenge flags, goal line stances. End arounds. I mean, come on. We got 4-3 defenses. All the buzzwords are back in play, man. I'm trying to tell you, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. And I'm laid out. I'm going to be fully prepared this year because I think that what we're going to find this year, bro, both of y'all, is status quo is no longer status quo. Youth is not always wasted on the young because they coming, boy. They ain't coming. And if you enjoy it, like I used to tell my boy Stix back in the day, if you stuck on these fools because they old and washed because they got a name, you better get that damn shit up right now because these young boys is coming and the NFL schedule is a bad mamma jamma. And it don't play around with nobody. I just scanned a couple schedules, man, just for a random team. And it ain't nice for anybody on these teams, man. But I think we got a couple surprises, man. Is there anything that you guys saw in the from this last week's preseason, 2 either games or big notable stories that popped out from this week of NFL?
Man, I got nothing. I was in the car didn't get to watch the Seahawks, but it sounds like I listened to a little bit of the Seahawks game.
Seattle's gonna be
offense is whack.
They're gonna be lucky to win 3 games.
They're gonna be a struggle there to see, especially when they open up, like you were talking about the schedule, homie, open up at home against the old faithful Russell Wilson. That should be interesting. Your Ravens are still 22 straight wins in preseason.
They care about this. These are things that they care about.
Still haven't signed Lamar yet.
No, because they don't care about that.
So we'll see what else is. I mean, I love Thibodeau got hurt yesterday. It looks like for the Giants. Looks like your boy Baker. Baker took the starting spot in Carolina. Didn't he?
Okay, yeah,
got called out.
See, now I didn't see that happen. I thought Sam Darnold was going to send him home tail between his legs, and it just
they announced that this morning.
I know, but I thought Sam Darnold was going to do his job and fight him off, and he was going to end up on the Johnny Manziel pile. I thought that's the way he was going to get done, but it doesn't look like it. Jimmy Garoppolo ain't practiced one lick, bro. He ain't practiced one lick. I've been on NFL Network. He ain't practiced one lick, and he is out there and mad available stuff out there. But my biggest thing, man, that happened is from my hometown squad, the world champion LA Rams. Man. You know the motto. You know the word. You know how we get down. Fuck them picks, right? That's what we do. But every now and again, we'll get one. Okay. And this time we got one. Highest pick, third rounder, Logan Bruss.
Who?
Yep. Offensive lineman, as we're trying to rebuild this offensive line and make sure we got plenty of bodies to guard Matt Stafford's new arm injury from wherever the hell this came from now that we have to worry about. And yeah, immediately he gets the 2-for-1 special. ACL, MCL, peace and love out for the year. Now, like we said at the beginning of preseason, it's going to happen to everybody. It's just like playing spin the bottle. It's just who it's going to land on. Because, we done already seen, like we talked about, the aforementioned Tampa Bay Buccaneers cluster offensive line injury / retirements. And now here we go.
They had another one since the last podcast.
They did. So now you got my man, I don't know if he was going to be a starter, but the fuck them pigs. I think it's a little bit far. I mean, you're putting bad mojo out in the air. Okay, so you just put the bad juju on one of our only picks that we had. And he's
you guys also hit on that undrafted wide receiver.
Yeah, I forgot about
Lance McCutcheon.
Yeah, McCutcheons. Yeah, McCutcheons. I don't know. But see, now we're looking at who is going to be on special teams, because you have to think about it. You're only talking about if you're not starting and you're not you're not on the second team. 9 times out of 10, what you're looking forward to doing is playing some special teams. And for a lot of these squads, you're looking at, for when we talk about the Rams, we've been waiting for Tutu Atwell to come up, and this might be the year because Van Jay is hurt. And we brought in Allen Robinson to go with what we already had. So where is Tutu Atwell going to get there? Now we got Lance coming in here. So it's just like when we had my man Josh Reynolds, who was trying to fight for airtime. And he's now in Detroit with my man Goof out there getting it. What's up with the Seahawks, man? You said you haven't seen nothing from the Seahawks?
No, I see that the running back Kenneth Walker they got in. That's
cold-blooded. Yeah,
he some minor hernia surgery, but he still might not be ready. Well, says he'll be. They say he'll be ready for week 1, but I really doubt that. You know how that's going to go. So we'll see there. And then Drew Lock just came back from his little COVID stint. He must have been hanging out at the Barcot facilities. But yeah. And it sounds like the Geno and the Lock, the Geno and the Lock competition is going to be heating up. I mean, at this point, if you're not going to go with Lock, then you might as well just go with Jacob Eason and roll with him.
Yeah, it sounds like they were in the interview that I saw prior to the game. It sounds like Pete was giving Drew Lock a pass and said, all right, he got COVID or whatever, so we're going to go with Geno, but it seems like Drew Lock's going to slide right back into the one spot. It sounds that's the impression that I got. But
I mean, they are waiting on Jimmy G to get released, which is going to happen because I think he's a matter of like a week away from his contract becoming guaranteed for the year, so they're going to cut him soon.
Yeah, when they go to the 53-man roster on the 23rd or the 30th or whatever.
Now, there's no guarantee he'll go to to Seattle. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that would sign him.
Still, yeah.
So I think it's a little. I'm not saying he won't sign with Seattle, but I think it's a little bit, fandom to come out and say, well, Jimmy G's going to get released. We'll pick him up right away. I don't know that he's going to. I don't know that offense is what he wants. You're also asking a guy to come in basically week 1. With no reps,
no book,
has never seen your offense outside of film sessions, obviously, and then actually go execute it with no practice, and that's always a disaster.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know what Seattle's going to do because there's a handful of teams walking around with better backups than Seattle.
That's what I'm saying. They have to do it because I'm looking at who really needs a quarterback now. I'm scrolling through.
Well,
I'm pretty sure the Texans is going to stand pat. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think. I have some quarterbacks I wanted to talk about too once we get to the top 5 list that you had last week, homie. You could give out your top 5 again here in a minute. But
with Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Quarterbacks, you're talking about quarterbacks, teams that need quarterbacks, and I have a couple of those teams on here as well on my list.
Who you got need a quarterback right now?
We can talk.
I'm looking right now, and I'm going. Aside from the Browns putting a staple on the situation, to be honest, you mentioned the Giants earlier, and I was pleasantly surprised by what I saw in the first drive, because that's all you get is the first drive of preseason with the Giants' last one, right? So the Giants played the Bengals, and Daniel Jones, and sometimes he looks like Daniel Jones, like he looks like the guy. He looks like he's ready to play the part because he has the double threat situation in him, and he has the arm. The arm is there. They got this kid. Okay, I'm telling you, they got the LA Rams starter kit going on over there, because they got this kid named I think it's David Sills. Look like Cooper. It reminds me of Cooper Kupp. He's running all of Cooper Kupp's routes. Don't jack my fantasy sleeper neither, because if he comes available, I'm on that, because I think he might be balling out because nobody knows his name. But they got a little something going on over there, and but I think that they're gonna have some problems, man, with Philadelphia. Philadelphia just looks like they can just run the ball on anybody, and that feels like that's just their identity. You throw Gainwell, whoever, blah blah blah. Sanders is going to be out again this year at the beginning of the year again, but it does not matter who they throw back there. I was just watching them even in the third quarter, still handing it to dudes, and the O-line was feeling themselves enough to make these holes, and that's like a team mantra for them. So I think
they had like three different dudes get 100-yard games last year. I mean, they'll hand the ball to anybody.
Boston Scott, Miles Sanders, Gainwell. Those are the three. And then there's one more rookie that they got coming behind him too. But man, yeah, it's going to be in that division. It's got me the NFC East, because you know how fun that division is always to talk about, because once Eli left, it's like, who cares about that division altogether, because the Cowboys still can't get it together enough to look like what their play like their potential looks like on paper. So then you're wondering, do the Redskins got something? Oh, my bad. Oh, the Commanders, my fault. Okay, I'm canceled. Do the Eagles got something? This year, maybe the Eagles got something, but you still are gonna lean Dallas in that division for most people.
Well, because of the quarterback. I will say this though, they are paper thin at wide receiver. If CD goes down, they're in trouble.
Yeah, they let everybody.
They're in trouble. Yeah. I do think that the NFC East, as bad as it's been the last 2 years, I do think it's up and coming. I do think that all four of them, well, Dallas did not improve, but I do think the other three teams have improved greatly. Now, that doesn't mean greatly as in outside of Philly playoff teams, but when you look, I mean, Washington's only a couple years removed from a 3-win season. They're way better than that now. I do think the Giants have gotten better than they were, say, 2 years ago. Philly's definitely gotten better. I still think it's a weak division, but I will say this. I think the NFC North, I realize Green Bay's taking a step back, but they're still going to compete. I like Minnesota's weapons.
Okay.
But Chicago and Detroit are terrible.
I was going to say
Detroit's gotten better, but Chicago and Detroit are not. Detroit's
terrible.
I was gonna say
you haven't watched.
I've watched Hard Knocks.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I was gonna save the division.
Usually all that emotionality and all that rah. That's usually for teams that they need it, because I'm gonna tell you right now. You know this. Your boys, the Rams. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. They're not calling her. They're not calling her running back in the middle of the huddle and crying.
You want to go? You want to go play for Dan the Man Campbell right damn now?
Well, I'm not saying Dan's back. I'm not saying Dan's back coach at all. My point is, good team. I promise you right now, a Harbaugh on the Ravens. They're not having all that emotionality on the field. The Rams on it. Tampa Bay is. I mean, good. That's my point. There's a good team that know who they are. And I do think Detroit's on the up and up. I do think Detroit can win 6 or 7 games. But my point is, you're looking at, when I was talking about the NFC, and I know Jason wants to get off the top, so I will after this. I think it's getting better as while the Green Bay Packers are taking a step back. Chicago is just a fucking mess. And Detroit, 3 wins last year, maybe 6 or 7 this year. But you're looking at a division that, like, really the Minnesota Vikings are the best team in that division. They just fired their head coach last year. So now that's all of a sudden.
Kirk Cousins on COVID again.
Right? Well, he won't get that shot, man. So I do like what the NFC is doing. I still think that the division as a whole's got a long way to go. But I think that.
So you're trying to say you don't think that Rodrigo is good for at least 3 wins? Rodrigo's
not going to be starting linebacker.
Rodrigo is not.
He's not.
Rodrigo better make special teams, though.
I think you're right, Barcot. I mean, you are right that these coaches aren't going to be the head coaches aren't going to be as fired up as Campbell is. But damn, he is a fun guy to watch out there.
Oh, I enjoy the entire coaching staff though. I enjoy the whole coaching staff. I get what they're trying to do. I do. I'm not diminishing what they're trying to do. It's got to translate though. And while the players are buying into it, and I love that the players are buying into it, and I love what the coaches are doing. My point is, you don't see good teams do that stuff.
Yeah.
Because good teams just know.
Right.
I
guarantee
the Rams just walk into practice every day knowing I'm going to beat your ass. I don't need somebody to rah me up.
Yeah.
And now again, we know McVay's hyper excitable. He'll sprint down in the end zone, high five after a touchdown. Like, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I'm talking about that every single day where we're having speeches and stuff. That's not happening in San Francisco, LA, either LA team, Tampa Bay. That's not happening,
but at the same time, you have to balance that with Mark Brunell's coaching style. It says, just go out there, throw it to our guy, don't throw it to the other team. And that's all I have to say for practice today. Get out there and go ball out. See, you have to balance it.
Jared Goff needs a little bit more than that, but I get you.
Jared Goff needs a whole lot more than that. Yeah. And where is Jared Goff? Notice that they are strategically hiding my boy Goof, and he has not had not one line in this version of Hard Knocks after when they did the double Hard Knocks with the Rams,
and he got a whole bunch of airtime.
Yeah, that's why they're not giving him.
He had a whole bunch of airtime back there. A whole bunch of airtime he didn't even need because he was saying stuff without thinking.
You know what's funny is that they did that because on Hard Knocks the rule is you have to be a team that hasn't been in the playoffs for X number of years.
Oh, word! I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it seemed to be. Yeah, it seemed to be.
They're always losing. They're always teams that want to play, and I think it's like a 2 or 3 year window. That's why I always joke with Cowboy fans. That's why you guys have had more Hard Knocks episodes than anybody in NFL history. Because they don't do a playoff.
I thought Hard Knocks was like the story documentary of the Bengals for a while. I that's just what it was.
Right. But that's why you never see you don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers ever do it and whatnot, because it's just you have to have so many years out of the playoffs to do it.
At the same time, though, think about this, AB. Now, check this out. The new school player is a different character, right? So now imagine who the new school player is going to be coming in after NIL. But the new school player can't he can't be coached like our PE teacher used to do us, right?
Oh, 100%.
So they're finding maybe that Aaron Glenn and Hake Fraley and Deuce Staley and Brunell and these are some names out here now. To be honest with you, this is like a Pro Bowl team right here, kind of assistants that they got out there. So there's no reason they shouldn't be able to bite enough kneecaps to get the over on wins, I would think.
Well, and like you were talking about too, though, is it are they going to buy? It seems like they're buying in, but they still lost I know it was their first year last year, but they still lost like 6 games or something like that in like the last 2 minutes of the game where they were up and then, gave it away, and they just did it again in preseason. I think their last preseason game, they gave it the little fumble and then all that they gave up the ball. Of course, that wasn't their first team in there, but a little different aspect. But I mean, what do you say that? Let's see, they won. I have it right here. With 3 games last. Is that what you said last year?
Yeah, I think a lot. They won.
Yeah, 3-13-1. I think they definitely eclipse that. Who knows what the over-under's in? We're gonna have to get that on the next one too. The over-under win totals like we do every year.
Yeah,
we'll put in some 2 cents into that.
We'll get the betting stuff up next week.
And by the way, I do like their coaches. I'm not knocking the coaches. I said that. I like what their coaches are doing. I like that the players are buying in. My point is, when the winning starts, and it will eventually, everybody turns around eventually.
Yeah, you gotta have that winning state.
That can, now the question will be, once they start to win, how do you reel that in? Because once you start winning, that rah-rah shit, they don't need to hear anymore. Like, again, that's why Sean McVay and them, even though they're excitable and they're jumping up and down, run down, but they're not giving emotional speeches. They're not literally in tears at every practice.
That's why they want veterans. That's why they want veterans there.
Right. And that once you start winning, and I agree with you, the new player has to be coached differently. But I mean, I like the direction they're heading in. I don't know if they're a playoff team. I don't know if they're a playoff team. We got to wait. That'll
be for next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll enlighten you on the playoff.
I do like watching the Hard Knocks. I don't care whose team is on it.
Yeah.
But I do like it.
Yeah.
See what's up. Let's hit the top five quarterbacks again real quick, homie. I know you rolled yours off last week, and then let's end it with some MLB chatter real quick. That shouldn't take very long. Like you said, not a real whole lot going on out there. But homie, do you still have your top 5 that you had last week? Because I didn't write it down, I don't think.
Oh man, I did. Did I do a top 5? I did an impromptu top 5, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you did. Let me see if you got it.
Number 47.
I think you did your top 10. That's right. You did your top 10 teams.
Yeah. Well, look, I do have this for you though. Okay.
If not, I got my top 5 quarterbacks whenever you're ready.
I got a top 5 for you right here. Top 5 second-year quarterbacks. All right. So yeah, because we had 5 of them last year. Okay. And this year we don't have that conversation to discuss, so we might as well talk about the sophomore year for these guys. And I was going into preseason with a little bit of promise for some. Now I'm kind of, I'm a little sketchy, but I think still the far and away highest potential candidate in year 2 is going to be Trey Lance because of what the 49ers offer him in terms of weapons available, right? And to fit his skill set. Number 2, I had Zach Wilson prior to this injury, but I think I'm going to have to slide ahead Justin Fields, which is sad that I have to do this. Okay, and then now I have to move Trevor Lawrence into the 3 spot. And then place Zach Wilson right there, which leaves the boy Mac Jones at 5. Now, don't be surprised that I put Mac Jones at 5 because Bill Belichick don't even want to give him. He barely got a quarterback's coach. They don't have an offensive coordinator per se. I don't know what kind of cost-saving measure that is, but you just got dudes out here, and we just gonna decide who's gonna call plays. This is a thing for disaster. This is a recipe for disaster. It's not going to work well. I thought this was going to be the comeback mission for Bill Belichick to show and prove because of the division he's in. But you don't let Miami sneak, okay? And you was about to let the Jets sneak before this just happened. Okay, so this is going to be tough for Mac Jones, and I think this is going to reveal a lot because they still didn't give Mac Jones any weapons. See if you can find a name past Jacoby and Myers and it not be a law firm on TV on as a wideout for the Patriots.
And the sad part is their whole receiving core, tight ends included, is the highest paid core in the NFL. I agree.
They gave Jonnu Smith a gang of money to pull him out of Tennessee.
And the cat out of Hunter, the cat out of
yeah.
Remember they signed them both.
Hunter Henry.
And so I agree with you 100%. Mac Jones has not one person that can get separation.
Devontae Parker?
No, he's not going to get separation as a threat. He's going to get separation underneath.
And don't forget little Jordan Humphrey, though.
Yeah, anyways. They're the highest paid group. So I mean, you can throw out Devontae Parker and Jordan Humphrey all you want, but they're making more money than the Chargers wide receivers. They're making more money than the Rams wide receivers after Cooper Kupp's extension and Allen Robinson being signed as a free agent. They are still spending more money in New England than the Rams are. Think about that. The dudes in New England that no one can name outside of Devontae Parker as a group are making more money than the Rams and Chargers groups. Now you tell me which group you want to throw to.
The Dolphins just said, here, why don't you go up there in division? Don't even bring up Devontae Parker. The Dolphins just say, go on. We'll see you a couple times a year. We don't care. So that they already know that that's nothing. Okay. So then you have your kids you were just talking about. Then you have Nelson Aguilar, who couldn't catch a water in the rain for years with the Eagles. You got Jacoby Myers.
Went somewhere last year and got cut from being picked up, I think, too.
I thought he actually went to didn't he go to the Raiders for a little bit? Wasn't he kind of successful with the Raiders for a minute? Mildly successful. Yeah.
And so Jacoby Myers, I mean, he's never going to get picked up for any fantasy team at any point in any year. So this is what you're working with, and you have the Gronk and Aaron Hernandez strategy going on with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. That's what you're trying to work with. I don't see Danny Amendola walking through that door. Wes Welker is not walking out of that locker room anytime soon. Julian Edelman is not walking. I need somebody like that because they don't have anything that I'm working. They got 5 running backs that might give you 100 yards on any given day, but they all gonna happen at different times. So don't own any of them neither. If you talk,
you're never gonna know, and you never have known for years in the running back situation for them. It's always hit and miss. I'm gonna give you my top 5 quarterbacks that I got that I scribbled down the other day.
Homie, you said that, and Bill Belichick was asked 2 days ago about Julian Edelman's return. He said that's up to Julian if he wants to come back. So when you say he ain't walking through that door, Bill Belichick literally just asked that question
right.
2 days ago.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's do it.
5 Stafford, 4 Herbert, 3 Burrow, 2 Allen, 1 A-Rod. And you got an honorable mention for Tua.
Outside looking in.
Tua Tagovailoa. And I'll even give
and no Patrick Mahomes.
I'll even give you another honorable.
Wait a minute, you didn't put Mahomes in your top 5?
No.
He did that on purpose. He thought he was
you're not sober.
Yeah, I'm definitely. And you can't forget about honorable mention my boy Jameis, famous Jameis, healthy, and
we need to have him make up some more lists. We need to have him make a list every week.
I got to ask you a question. If he wasn't in Denver, would Russ be your top 5 if he was still in Seattle?
Nah, he would be. Yeah, he would definitely be top 5.
Okay, so his trade now knocks him out of the top 5.
Yeah, he definitely not top.
Drew
5.
Lock is on the outside looking in.
Till he can prove
barely
himself.
missed it at 7.
Till he can prove himself in a new environment. But you can't forget about your boy up in the horseshoe, homie. Matt Ryan,
new
Matt
destination.
Ryan could be a very good
ready to
pick,
thrive.
and we're going to talk about all this next week.
Ready to thrive. Boy.
Talk about all the weapons and all that later on this week or next week.
I'll throw out my top 5.
Yeah, what you got?
2 names, and I have a problem with Matt Ryan because as good as Matt Ryan is, he's going to find out just like Carson Wentz did that when Pittman is your number 1 wide receiver, you're in trouble. Okay. Because that's not a great wide receiver group. Now I realize. Now wait a minute. Carson Wentz has probably got a better wide receiver group in Washington than he had in Indy. I'm not saying he has a better team, but he's got a better group of wide receivers. Terry McLaurin would have been the number 1 wide receiver in Indy, no question. Yeah, so here's my top 5, and I did tell Jason this. I put my top 5 in based off of.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring. Laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Not only talent, obviously, but who you have to throw to. So Aaron Rodgers is not in my top 5.
Hell
even though
no.
he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but who the hell is he throwing the ball to now?
That's right.
So I mean, he's already complaining about it. So in no particular order in these 5, I've got 3 young ones. I've got Herbert, I've got Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, who I think is going to be steady. I mean, you talked about weapons. He's got 2 just gigantic weapons to throw to. And then of course Tom Brady. It's going to be tough to get knocked Tom Brady. I mean, the guy last year had 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns. He's a guy I forgot, even though I had him on my team. I forgot Gronk was on pace for 1,000 yards. He had 800 yards and like 9 touchdowns or something like that with all those games missed. So that's my top 5: Herbert, Mahomes, Brady, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. And that's because those are quarterbacks that are going to produce with the talent around them. I think they'll be your 5 best because of the weapons.
Yeah, I definitely. If you put it with weapons, I agree with you. I agree with you a little bit there too. I just think that. I think Rodgers and Brady are kind of in the same boat. You still have Mike Evans obviously down in Tampa Bay. So his weapons, Brady's weapons are better than Rodgers' weapons right now. But I still think Rodgers will be able to make his team better no matter what. Whoever.
I do have an honorable mention.
No way.
Who's the honorable mention though?
I got Stafford, honorable mention. I think Matthew Stafford's that just the way McVay can call a game, and you talk about a team that loses the kid from USC last year who's down at Tennessee. Then you bring in OBJ, you lose him, and then you just go out and sign, a 100-catch receiver and Allen Robinson. I mean, they just keep chugging along, man. I mean, Matthew Stafford is going to have an embarrassment of riches to throw to hand the ball off to. I really like what they're going to be able to do. He's my honorable mention. I really like Justin Herbert though.
All right, I got a top 5. Since we go one together. All right. Well, first we're gonna go outside looking in. Honorable mention. Come on, man. How can y'all look? I'm not jaded, okay, but you got to say Derek Carr. Come on, man. Derek Carr is gonna get in this year. He's gonna put in work. I would give not only on the strength of Devontae Adams leaving, I would put Derek Carr over Aaron Rodgers just for that fact. Okay, just for that fact alone. Forget Third and Renfro, forget Waller, forget everything else. Just on that alone. Okay. Number five is young Herb, Justin Herbert. Number 4 is Matt Stafford. Number 3 is Joey B, Joe Burrow. Number 2, undeniable top 2 is Josh Allen. And then number 1 is undeniable until they take the ball out of his hand from throwing backwards and hitting the crossbar at 40 yards. You know what I'm saying? You can't deny Patrick Mahomes because he plays every preseason game. Bang, bang, couple touchdowns, and I'm sitting down. Where's my headset? Yeah, I mean, come on. He's the only one that still plays it like an OG quarterback. You go out there, you do what you're supposed to do, score touchdowns, and you sit out. That's it. Come on, man. Until I see otherwise, that's what it's going to be. Josh Allen, though, hey, that little escapism that you did and that little pass, little bullet to Gabriel Davis yesterday, just shout out to you for that, though.
All right, we got enough NFL talk. We could talk all day about that, and we'll talk a whole lot of in-depth next week. We're going to have to dedicate a whole one just to the NFL next week.
Lots of more stuff.
So let's close it out with a little MLB, and I say a little because it really is a little. Not a whole lot going on right now. Mariners are still in the hunt for their 100 wins that I tell you all about. So
what they need now?
What
they need to go?
34 and
they can't
7?
They lose 7 more games. They're done.
Yeah, 34-7 or something like that. So
yeah, it's true. See how you strategically didn't know what the record was that they need to go.
I do like
it's
to remind
gonna be
them.
close.
I like to mess with them because as much fun as they've had this season, the only reason they're in right now is because they added an extra wild card team.
True.
Well, they had it last year too, though.
No, they didn't. It was Boston and New York. That was it. They played off in a 1-game playoff. They changed that this year. So right now, Houston, I know because my team was in the wild card in a 1-game, got smacked by Boston, and Boston moved on. This year, it's going to be.
You're thinking about the COVID year when they added their
they had
crazy
the 8
tournament
and all that nonsense.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking.
Which actually is kind of cool, but yeah.
This year they're kind of doing that where they're going to have. So right now it'd be Houston and New York would sit out for a week, and the other 4 teams would play a best of 3.
Do it like NFL. That's perfect.
Yeah, and the best of 3 is
involved.
all at home too for the better seed, which is
as it should. As it should.
Okay.
All at home for the
you don't want to have 1, 1, and 1.
Right? It's like a series. This is like a regular series. Yeah.
And you can't really go 2 and 1.
Yeah, because then the
literally be 1, 1, and 1. So
because then the team that had the best record ends up playing a loser out game on the road, so you can't do that. So
last week, AB was looking at the AL Central, and who you got in there? Because I took Minnesota, and I'm still riding with them. They're
only a game and a half out.
A game and a half out for those guys. Sticks to Cleveland, of course, because they're the leader.
But then again, they're playing Seattle this week, so that's going to either be in my favor with Cleveland or
you got the Sox
favor of the Mariners.
Back,
so if the Mariners do what they're supposed to and if they sweep the Indians, then I'll give the lean to Minnesota. So next week my answer could be different.
Right now, if it starts, I'm going with Cleveland. Right now, I'm by the way, I'm shocked. Baltimore traded everything away at the deadline. And they're only 2.5 out. And they traded their closer away, and they traded Mancini away, and they're going after it. So I still think Cleveland gets it. That'll be interesting because if Cleveland gets it, then Seattle's in right now. I mean, that can change in the wild card standings. But right now, Seattle would be at Cleveland for 3 games in that first round, and Tampa would be hosting Toronto for 3 games. So that's how that would bust out. So it'd be interesting. I think Cleveland takes it. I think at the end of the day, they got the better number 1 starter in that division in Beaver. That said, though, man, as I said in that it was our Jason threw a Mariner thing in there in our fantasy football group chat, and I was like, bro, no one cares. It's going to be the Dodgers and Astros.
Wow,
it's going to be the Dodgers and Astros.
What's up with the AL East though? What happened with the division leaders over there?
We're back up to 8 games up, and we're beating the Mets right now. I think honestly,
and you're well below 500 too in the last 21 games or something like that. And still 8 up.
What's going on?
I do. Have you looked at our injury list? I mean,
Stanton's supposed to be back Thursday.
No, I say that Stanton missed all of May, and he's played 1 time since the All-Star break. Yeah. Severino just got not just about 2 weeks ago. They moved him from 10 days to 60 days, so he's basically done. Clay Holmes couldn't strike me out after the All-Star break, and now he's on the DL or IL. Let's see. Garrett Cole had a bad run, then a good run, and then a bad game against Toronto. So I don't know what's going on with Garrett lately. Josh Donaldson has just been a zoo all year. I think he's hitting 220. But yeah, our big thing has been injuries. DJ LeMay, has been moved. He missed a week. We've got 5 starters are on the IL right now. 2 starters in terms of players and pitchers. So now we went from a team, Jason, when I was over at your brother's house talking, remember we talked about the Yankees had no major injuries other than Stanton missing May. Right. Now that has come back to bite them in the ass, and like they can't keep a consistent lineup. I mean, literally, it's been Aaron Judge and Gleyber Torres been the only 2 guys that have shown up for every game.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Judge needs to get on. The home run train again. I don't think.
Yeah,
what's
the Judge update?
He's only at 46.
I said it while we were doing the show. He just hit 47 against Scherzer.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
Good. He needs to hit another 15.
Yeah, I was just going through the box to try to see where those two came from.
I think he's on pace for 61 coming into the day.
Yeah, he's gonna get hot again, and he'll get caught back up. I still say 61's easy for him. With 40 games left? 42?
I'm looking at it right now. Yes, 40. Today would be 39.
Yep. So
yeah,
40 games left.
They just lost 7 out of 10 division games. They just played the Red Sox, Rays, and the damn Leafs, the damn Blue Jays back to back, and lost 7 of 10.
They've lost 6. They'd lost 2 series all year heading into the All-Star break. They've lost all but 1 series since the All-Star break.
Yeah, complete flippy floppy.
What happened?
That injuries, man. I mean, I'm looking at Rizzo. Remember when we were going into Seattle, came to New York? Rizzo hadn't played. Rizzo took. He was out for a week. He was out for a week with an injury. May, who's had a toe thing. I mean, all of a sudden, Marco Gonzalez, because Matt Carpenter broke his foot, and he's out. I mean, it's gotten ugly, man, with the injuries.
Yeah.
It has gotten ugly. But the one thing I hate about the Yankees, and I've always hated this, and we talked about this, not with the Yankees, but teams in general. If you're going to hold on to prospects, then fucking play them. I don't know why the Mets, I agree. They brought up the Grissom kid. Grissom had played 9 games above single A. They came up and started him for a few games against the Braves. Meanwhile, this Volpe kid we got with 42 stolen bases in the minor leagues playing shortstop at AAA, that's like 100 some odd games above single A. They won't bring him up. I don't fucking get it. You need to put some energy into the lineup. You got kids on pace to steal 70 bases in the minor leagues. Fucking bring him up. He's your number one.
Especially when you have all the open positions available at this point. Everybody's on the damn IL.
I really don't fucking get it, man. I just don't. I really don't, man. But it is what it is. I will say this. I know the Mariners been fun to watch, whatnot. Dude, you had a 14-game winning streak. You're still only 10 games over 500.
Hey.
So that means outside of your win streak, you're 4 games under for the season.
Only need to go 34-6 in the next 40. So
ain't gonna happen.
Nothing wrong with that. Homie, you got anything on your Dodgers? Because we told these San Diego Padres people that Juan Soto and Josh Bell are not the answer.
It's almost 20 games. It's almost 20 games.
Yeah, that's not it.
18 games up, bro.
We're just getting the pitching that we thought we were gonna get. Now
Dustin May's back. Dustin May looked legit last night.
Yep, he's the red hair just flailing all over the place like it's supposed to. And even without Walker Buehler, who should probably be back in not too long.
He had season-ending surgery.
What did I just see? Oh, he might have, because I just saw something that they were hoping that he could come back at some point. The season was done, but he could be back in the playoffs. I just saw something like that the other day. Yeah. But yeah, no, the Dodgers just been plugging along, man. And like I said, it's just where I said everybody's starting to waiting for things to warm up and gel, and we're getting the production. The production comes from the same part of the lineup every single night. It's Triz, it's Trey Turner, it's Mookie at the top, it's Freddie Free, and it's the Fresh Prince, and it's guaranteed, and it's every single night. And then when you start getting the Gavin Lux contribution, you start getting the Max Muncy contribution, you start getting the Cody Bellinger random home run when you look up like the sky is falling,
and All-American Chris Taylor.
By the way, the last 3 guys you just named, when you add Chris Taylor in there, 190, 206,
garbage.
220.
Yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying. When you get the contributions from those guys, because that's literally those guys, the sporadic contributions are what you get from those guys are the glue to what happens in the rest of the lineup. And I'm trying to tell you, that's how these games end up 8-2, 7-0, and 10-3, and blah, 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 and whatever else they're doing.
Hey, you need to keep on that run line.
I was just about to remind you that I did point out earlier on in the year that the run line situation for the Dodgers is a guarantee. And if I were to look at this moment, at the present moment right now, it would be exactly like what I told you. If they win, they're going to cover. If they lose, then clearly you already lost. And that is pretty much what their last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm not even going any further than that. 16 games have showed out. And they've only lost 3 games in those time. And those are the 3 games where they did.
Every other game they covered.
Yep, every other game that they've won. Well,
no,
actually,
except for the
Miami game. There's one Miami
Milwaukee
game on there. Yeah.
And one Milwaukee.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
So
but yeah,
2 and
pitching,
11 or 11
the pitching
and 2?
is what I'm talking about, because that's what I was trying to tell you at the beginning of the year, because the pitchers don't get enough say with what goes on in the game. They're controlling the game. Everybody wants to see the game sped up. They want to see more offense. How can we make more contact in the game? But the pitchers and the skill of the pitchers is what makes the game, right? And when you get Urias, Gosselin with these kind of performances with Buehler on the shelf, that's the same thing I was telling you about the Mariners. The Mariners still ain't got multiple double-digit winners when the Minnesota Twins have got 3 double-digit winners on their roster. And that's what I'm saying. This is what I was talking about. One.
Maybe.
One. So that's the kind of thing that I'll be telling you. That's what I'm telling you.
All their wins come from their bullpen guys because they can't score any runs till the 8th inning.
That's what I'm saying. When you try to spin that back around, and these guys, that's why, hey, if these guys go 5, you got the Dodgers starters go 5, and you have not scored anything, you might as well close the door up because the bats are just getting warmed up on our side.
Yes, sir. All right, fellas, let's close this bad boy out.
Shoot, man.
Anything else to close out on before we send these people on their way? We got NFL fantasy football drafts next week. We got NFL podcast to do next week. Probably have to split it up into the AFC and NFC like we did last year.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's going to be a lengthy one. So we'll do that. Yeah, we'll see. And oh shit, what day was that, Barcot? Are we doing our draft Tuesday?
30th. Yep.
Oh shit, I'll be in Spokane, baby. But I'll have my laptop.
You in Spokane?
Yeah, my brother's going up there for the 90s concert or whatever at Northern Quest.
Gotcha.
And
I was gonna say it wasn't for a job.
I ain't got no job, so I might as well roll up there and enjoy the Northern Quest Sportsbook while I'm there.
Gotcha, absolutely.
So that's Tuesday, and then
get that cigar room. Get that cigar room upstairs.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I'm not a big cigar guy, but I might have to test it out. We'll see.
Just fire that joint up and walk around and pull it a couple times.
Just stick it, just hold it out there like I know what I'm doing.
Hold it around, yeah. That's what you do.
So I guess that's what's going on next week. But what else you guys got? Anything else?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. We appreciate you, Barcot, for coming on and hanging out in your quarantine time. So hey.
Yeah, shit. I literally got nothing. I got nothing else to do. I got nothing else to do but just sit here and chill, man.
Nice.
Hey, lucky it's only 10 days or what have you, bro. Because
I know, man.
It's bad.
So, well, that's it, folks. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review on whatever podcast platform you listen to. Go to thisfunner.com for more podcasts and online content. Grab some merch while you're there from the Funner family. And an also big homie's been working on his mad technical skills, editing skills, and he's almost about ready to step up to the advanced placement in the class. So check us out on YouTube. Sports Fix with Stix and us, big homie. We're all over there. Subscribe and smash that like button. Check out homie's videos, man. He's doing a good job out there. So I'd like to say that I have not been able to figure it out yet. So we'll see what happens. But we appreciate y'all for listening. Thanks, Barcot, for joining us, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Follow Nas Big Homie.
You guys have a good one.
Anonymous. Will do, boys.
All right.
Peace. This is fun.
That was Sports Fix with Stix. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show. If you want to join the show, use the hashtag #StixandSports.
Winners don't make excuses.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.